What if I told you that the biggest miracle you'll ever see isn't water splitting? It's you finally deciding to move when everything in your life tells you to stop. Think about that. Because right now, you're standing in front of your own sea, fear in front, chains behind, and the only question is, do you drown where you stand, or do you step into the impossible? Imagine this. You're standing in front of a wall of water, a whole sea, waves crashing, horizon stretching forever, and behind you, death and army, chains waiting to lock you back up, and right there in that impossible moment, you're told to walk forward into the water, into the unknown. Tell me that doesn't feel like life sometimes? You've got bills piling up, health slipping, relationships breaking down, a dream that feels impossible, and the only way out is forward, through something that makes absolutely no sense to your rational brain. But that's the test, that's the split, that's the sea in front of you. Now, people hear about Moses raising his staff and the sea splitting, and they think, nah, that's some mythical fairy tale, that's just ancient folklore. But step back. What if it's not about whether water literally peeled back? What if it's about the metaphor you keep ignoring? How many times in your life did the thing that should have destroyed you somehow open up just enough space for you to make it through? That breakup that crushed you but forced you to grow, that job you lost that sent you exactly where you needed to be, that night you thought was the end of you but ended up being the start. You ever think about that? Maybe the sea doesn't split until you start walking toward it. Maybe the miracle doesn't show up until you move. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people never even step. They see the sea, they panic, they freeze, they look back at the army, and they go, well, maybe slavery wasn't so bad, at least it was predictable. That's what comfort does to you. Comfort is a slow death. Chains wrapped in pillows, you tell yourself you're free, but you're not. You're just entertained, distracted, doped up on scrolling, food, gossip, validation. It's easier to live shackled in routine than to risk stepping into the ocean of uncertainty. But let's be real, that ocean is where every version of your future self is waiting. You want strength, you want discipline, you want freedom. You think it comes from some hack, some shortcut, some motivational quote. No, it comes from the terrifying walk where you've got no evidence it's going to work out. That's faith, not some soft hallmark, card faith. I'm talking raw, bleeding, knuckles, stomach-turning faith. The kind where you move forward when everything in you screams to stop. Think about fear. Fear is the most consistent liar you've ever met. It whispers in your ear that you'll drown, that you'll fail, that everyone's laughing at you, that you're not enough. And the wild part, most people believe it without question. They hand their whole life over to fear like it's some trusted advisor, but fear doesn't care about your growth. Fear doesn't want you to win. Fear just wants you safe, small, predictable, tame. And the second you start walking toward that water, fear panics. It pulls every trick to drag you back to shore. So what do? You stare it in the face and you keep stepping. Step after step after step. And if the water doesn't move, then you learn how to swim through it. Either way, you're not going back. That's the mentality. That's the escape from slavery, from mediocrity, from the prison of your own excuses. Let me ask you this, what chains are you still wearing right now? Because don't kid yourself, everyone's got some. Addiction, approval, doubt, laziness, comfort. Which ones are choking you right this second? And here's the brutal truth, nobody's coming to break those chains for you. Yeah, someone might show you the staff, someone might point at the sea, but you've got to walk. Nobody's carrying you across. Nobody's giving you the discipline. Nobody's handing you freedom. That's earned, paid for, step by step. And pain, man, let's talk about pain. Everyone's terrified of it. We avoid it, numb it, medicate it, scroll it away. But pain is the fire. Pain is the purifier. You ever notice the most powerful people you've met? The ones with real depth, not the fake motivational mask, but actual depth. They've been through hell. They've faced storms, losses, heartbreak, humiliation. They've tasted the bottom, and because of that, they carry something unshakable. Pain forged them, that's the sea splitting. Pain is not the punishment. It's the passage. You don't get the other side without it. And discipline, man, discipline is the staff. That's the tool that parts the waves. You think it's flashy inspiration. Nah, it's the alarm clock at 5 a.m. It's the workout when your body says no. It's shutting down the distractions when your brain wants dopamine. It's sticking to the plan when nobody's watching. That's the real miracle, not some Hollywood spectacle. Discipline is divine. Discipline is the hand that cracks open the impossible. Now here's the wild thing: the more you master yourself, the more the world starts bending in ways you never thought possible. Opportunities appear, people show up, doors crack open, and the cynical part of your brain says coincidence. But deep down you know it's because you stopped playing small. You stopped bowing to fear. You walked toward the sea and it moved. Let me get real personal here. Picture the version of yourself 5 years from now. Not the fake highlight reel, not the social media mask, but the real you. If you keep doing what you're doing right now, if you keep giving in to fear, distraction, comfort, where does that version end up? Be honest. Is that who you want to be, or is it some weaker, smaller, chained-up shell of what you could have been? And now, flip it. Imagine if you actually walked, if you actually faced the sea and said, "Screw it, I'm going in." Who do you become then? What does that version look like? That's the version that haunts you. That's the one screaming from the other side, begging you to stop wasting time. Because time, let's not sugarcoat it, time is the real sea. You think you've got forever. You don't. The water is closing every second. Death is always marching, and you're sitting there waiting for the right moment to change. When's that gonna be? Next week, after the holidays, after you get your money right, after life magically gets easier. Spoiler, it never gets easier. The army doesn't stop chasing. The sea doesn't wait. It's now. It's only ever now. You want freedom, earn it. You want strength, suffer for it. You want peace, fight for it. You want truth, burn for it. Nothing real comes without cost. Nothing eternal comes without blood. And the wildest part, on the other side of that cost, is everything you've ever wanted. But most people never taste it because they tap out at the shoreline. So, here's my challenge right now. Think of the sea in your life. That thing you've been too scared to face. The conversation you've been avoiding. The project you keep putting off. The addiction you keep hiding. The dream you keep pushing someday. That's your Red Sea. That's the wall of water in front of you. And behind you, the same damn chains you swore you wanted to escape. So, which way are you walking? Back into slavery or forward into the unknown? Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah, you might stumble. Yeah, you might get swallowed whole. But what's the alternative? To rot slowly in the cage you already hate? To waste this one shot at life because you were too afraid to move? No, screw that. Take the step, lift the staff, split the sea, because here's the thing no one tells you once you step in, once you move forward, once you stop hesitating, something inside you changes. You realize you were never weak, never powerless, never trapped. You were just asleep, and the second you wake up, the sea doesn't look so big anymore. The chains don't feel so heavy. The army doesn't look so unstoppable. You realize you've been carrying the miracle all along. So here's the call to action. Don't wait for the sea to split before you move. Move and watch the sea split. Don't wait for the fear to disappear before you act. Act and watch fear dissolve. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There is none. The only moment is now. Right now. Stand up. Face your sea. Walk into it. And don't stop until you're free. And listen, don't trick yourself into thinking this is just some dramatic metaphor. It's not poetry for the sake of sounding deep. This is survival. This is the real game we're all stuck in, whether we admit it or not. Because every day you wake up and you're standing at that shoreline again. The sea in front, the chains behind. It's not a one-time event. It's not like you split the water once and now you're free forever. No, freedom is rented, and the rent is due every damn day. You think discipline is something you check off the list. Oh, I was disciplined yesterday, so I'm good. No, you fight for it every morning, every hour, every choice. Because the second you stop, the second you relax, the sea closes back up and you're drowning again. And the army catches up, and those chains, they're right there, ready to lock back around your wrists. And here's the cruel part. Most people chain themselves. Nobody even needs to come capture them. They pick up the cuffs and snap them on. They do it with procrastination, with excuses, with comfort food, with numbing out on screens. You don't even need an oppressor when you're your own worst jailer. That's the sick truth. You're both the prisoner and the guard. So how do you break it? You stop being nice to yourself. Stop letting yourself off the hook. Stop sugarcoating the reality. You look yourself dead in the eye in the mirror at 2 a.m. when it's just you and the silence, and you ask, am I proud of the life I'm living, or am I hiding? And if the answer is hiding, then you burn it down. You burn the excuses, you burn the laziness, you burn the lies. That's what walking through the sea looks like. It's not comfortable, it's destruction. Destruction of everything fake so the real can survive. And people love to say, yeah, but what if I fail? What if I step out and the sea doesn't split? What if I drown? And you know what? Maybe you do. Maybe you sink. Maybe you fall flat on your face. But let me ask you, isn't drowning in pursuit of freedom better than suffocating slowly in chains? Isn't risking everything for truth better than rotting in safety with nothing? What are you really so scared of? Embarrassment, losing face, newsflash, nobody cares. Everyone's too busy battling their own sea to keep score on yours. And that's where you find your power, in realizing nobody's coming to save you, nobody's watching close enough to judge you, and nobody has the right to tell you what's possible for you. It's all you. Always has been, always will be, and once you own that fully, brutally, unapologetically own that something shifts, you stop begging the water to move, and you start becoming the storm that shakes the whole ocean. So, here's where I'm leaving you with a dare, not a suggestion, not some polite piece of advice. A dare, tonight, when the excuses creep in, when the chains rattle, when fear whispers that you're not ready, dare to step anyway. Dare to walk forward. Dare to confront the thing you've been running from for years. That addiction, that lie, that dream, that weakness, that sea. Face it, tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. Because every second you wait, the water rises higher. Every second you hesitate, the chains tighten. Every second you delay, your future self dies a little more. And I'm telling you right now, you're running out of seconds, so stop running, turn, face the sea. And walk until your feet bleed if you have to. Walk until your lungs burn. Walk until the waves themselves bow down in respect. That's how you split the impossible. That's how you become untouchable. That's how you find freedom, not later, not someday, now. So, what's it gonna be, chains or the sea? And don't get it twisted, freedom isn't some finish line. It's not like you split the sea once and then coast the rest of your life. No, the moment you stop walking, the moment you stop pushing, the water collapses, the fear rushes back, the chains creep in, freedom is fragile, discipline is fragile. You gotta guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. And you know what? Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they stop. They quit at the exact moment the sea is about to open. They quit when the pain gets sharp, when the weight feels unbearable, when the voices in their head say this is pointless. But that's the signal. That's the doorway. If it's hard, if it hurts, if everything in you screams turn back, that's when you know you're close. So here's the punch. Stop waiting for easy. Stop praying for less pain. Start demanding more strength. Start looking at the struggle like it's a gift, because it is. The pain is the proof you're on the path. The struggle is the proof you're alive. The resistance is the proof the sea is real. You can't be forged without fire, and you can't cross without waves. And right now, whether you admit it or not, you're standing at your own Red Sea. You know exactly what it is. Don't pretend you don't. That dream you've been burying, that lie you've been living, that weight you've been carrying, that fear you keep feeding, that's your wall of water, and behind you, the army of regret, mediocrity, comfort, and death. So here's the deal. You've got two choices. Go back to slavery, or step forward and watch the impossible split. That's it. That's the whole damn game, and when you choose not with words, but with action, when you take that step, the world will shift under your feet. The water will move, the chains will fall. And you'll realize the miracle wasn't the sea parting. The miracle was you finally deciding to walk. So walk, walk now. Walk through the fear, through the pain, through the doubt. Walk until you're free. Because freedom doesn't wait, neither should you. So here it is, the moment. No more theories, no more stories, no more waiting for the perfect sign. The sea is right in front of you. The chains are rattling behind you, and your heart knows exactly what it has to do. Step not tomorrow, not next week, now. Step while you're scared, step while you're tired, step while the voice in your head says you can't, because the second you do, the second your foot hits that water, everything changes. And when it does, when the waves split, when the impossible opens, you'll look back and realize the sea was never the enemy. Fear was, doubt was, comfort was. The water was always waiting on you to move. So move. This is your life. This is your one shot. Take it. Walk through. Don't stop. Don't bow. Don't break. Walk until you're free, because freedom doesn't beg. Freedom doesn't bargain. Freedom demands. And today, right now, it demands you. Now go. Split your sea.